So let me give you a quick introduction. I'm here because 8 years ago I started an outsourcing company in Spain with a 100% distributed team. This is not new. It's a business that is very known in Poland. Here you can see with hearts our clients and our team members with the little lighthouses. So we're all around the world. This is normal. What is weird about my company is that our team members stay and they really like working with us, even though the jobs that we do are customer service, validation, not so exciting kind of work. 67% of our team members have been with us for more than 5 years. And I have only met 7 out of 228 people that work in the company. In 8 years, we've spent 500 euros in travel. That doesn't even buy you a ticket to the US. So what I want to talk about is how we did it, how we created a company where people are happy to work, where people are collaborating well without spending money on plane tickets, on hotels, on traveling, on meeting face-to-face. Now, don't get me wrong, it is great to go and have beers. It's great if your company flies you to meet people, but I want to tell you that this is not the only way to do things. So there's like a spectrum. There's companies that fly everybody. Every week, they send the teams to meet to Rome, they go to Krakow, they're traveling all the time. That's one spectrum. Then I'm on the other side of the spectrum. No traveling, 500 euros in 8 years. And still, you have a company culture, and people are happy, and people are collaborating. There is stress, because stress comes from clients a lot of times, but still, the team is strong. There's a cohesion there. There's, they know each other, and they're working well together, and the stress that comes from the clients doesn't hurt them. So, how do we do this? We did this by spending all the money we didn't spend on travel, spending it in psychologists that help us hire the right people. Many people can do the work, but who can work remotely? Not all of us can work remotely. So what characteristics do these people have? Hiring these people. Then when they are in the company, there's an onboarding process. So what does the onboarding process look like? We really have like one-to-one sessions, mentoring, so designing all of that. We spend the money on psychologists designing the onboarding process. Then, when the person is in the company, we do a lot of team activities, virtual team events, virtual water coolers. We create all kinds of activities so people feel like they're in an office. And the idea is to replicate what happens in the office and make it even better, make it even bigger. So let's see some of these keys. Do you hear me well? Yeah? Okay, good. So I think that in order to learn how to work with a distributed team, this is the motto. We need to do everything more and everything better. We cannot think like we are in an office, or even worse, if you have a team that is in your office and a team that's distributed, you cannot treat them the same way. So all the time we need to do more self-awareness on how we communicate, more effort, more communication, more assertive. We need to do everything more. And with the experience that I have accumulated with this team over the last 8 years, now, as Paul said, we have this consulting and we help companies improve that. So let me give you 2 examples of 2 clients. The first one is my friend Robin. Oh, I guess this is working now. Yeah. Super. So I have my friend Robin. She's a project manager in South Africa. She works from home. She has a little office there, and she works from home. She works with a team of developers in Serbia. The developers are all working in the same office. She works with a team of designers in the Ukraine, and they also work all in the same office. And then she has a creative director in Florida. So here we have a little complexity. We have time zone difference, we have teams that are remote working from home, and people who are working in an office. So communication is different between them. What happens to Robin is that she has a weekly meeting with the entire team, and then she has daily stand-up meetings with the designers and with the developers. Her problem is that clouds, they appear. They appear in two fronts, and probably this will sound familiar to all of you. The first front is that the people don't feel connected. There are a lot of misunderstandings, and the people who are in their offices, they don't really feel like they belong to the group. It's hard to bring them together to the project. What that does at the end is it unmotivates the team. And when we have an unmotivated team, then we have less creativity, etc., etc. You know how that works. The other problem that she's facing is misunderstandings. So she has meetings, they talk about things, and then people ask her questions that to her were obvious because we discussed this during the meeting. So let's analyze a little bit how some mistakes that she's doing. When I asked her about the meetings, she told me that they're over Skype, but some people don't really want to turn on their cameras because they're shy, or today I didn't dress up, I'm at home, blah, blah, blah. So meetings look like this. Bad. Why is that bad? Because studies say that the information we perceive, 55% comes from body language. 38% is from the tone of voice, and 7% is only the actual message. So her team was only getting half of the message. Now, what else can happen? When we are doing conference calls without video, we're doing other things. We all know that. We've all done this. Okay, we can do other work. We can send emails. That means we're not listening. When we're writing an email, we're not listening. But this is bad. There's people chopping onions and eating while we're having meetings. You know, they're making food or going to the restroom or texting. So, I mean, it's obvious. Calls were great, and calls are great. You order a pizza, the pizza guy comes. But now, if we want to collaborate with people, we can not only do calls. We need to always have the video on to try to replicate the experience of meeting face-to-face. And the same happens with clients. When we meet with a client, it's not enough to have a phone call. If we want to establish a good relation with them, if we want to build that trust and be more communicative and let the message go through, we need to always have the camera on. The other thing that she told me about is that they were doing everything by email. So they were discussing all the things by email, and you might think, well, that is not possible. We are in 2017. And that is possible, and a lot of very large organizations are not using any project management tools. So I wanted to come to you today and tell you that email is bad. That email is, according to me, a big waste of time, because we spend a lot of time communicating via email, a lot of time trying to get our message across in a way, and people, you know, they're not reading emails. I think very often you have said, but I told you by email. Well, I didn't read the email. So what I'm proposing here is that you use these or any other tools that are in the market to get rid of emails, and at the same time, get rid of meetings. I would like to see a world where we are not writing emails, where we're not meeting to talk about work, but instead where we're using all the meetings to build trust and relationship with the people that we're working with, where we don't have to go to bed at 12 because at 11 p.m. we had a meeting with somebody else in the other side of the world. Instead, we use the project management tools to collaborate with people and be able to use the meetings and be able to use the communication in a more clever way. Another advantage for her to use the project management tools, of course, is that she killed all the noise that was coming from different channels. Yes, Slack is great. It's great to have HipChat. We use WhatsApp. We use email. But it's important to centralize the channels, because if we have too many channels, a lot of team members get lost in those. So important to try to use as little channels and only the ones that are working for your company. And time zones, we talked about that. So now her meetings looked a little bit different. She always uses a whiteboard. When we have a meeting with a distributed team, if we do everything by our auditive sense, a lot of people are very visual. So we're not really talking to them. We are only talking to the people who are auditive. Now, if we use tools like a whiteboard during our meetings, then we can make things clear and we can arrive to more people and avoid more misunderstandings. The goal of all this is to avoid misunderstandings and for people to have a clear idea of what they have to do. And the same with clients. If you have clients where you're not really understanding each other, I would advise you to always have a whiteboard on when you're having a meeting with them, to draw things, to move stickers, so you can show them in a visual way what it is that you're doing, and you can communicate better with them. Now, there's Hermione here. She's very suspicious. In this team, what was happening was that some people were taking over jobs that were not their job because they were so committed to the project that they were doing things that didn't really belong to them. For example, we had the creative director doing things that belonged to the design team. So we started investigating, and what was happening there was a problem of trust. The creative director didn't trust the designers. They didn't know each other. So now I would like you to stand up again and close your eyes. For a moment, see the faces of 3 people that you really trust. And think about the characteristics that they have. They're probably people that you know very well, that you know how they're going to react. Am I right? Yes, you know them well? Okay, you can open your eyes and sit down now. This is because we only trust the people that we know. Now, if trust is an issue with your distributed team, which very often happens. You know, in an office, you walk in the office, you see things, you see the decorations, you see who's complaining, you see what's on people's desk. You know, you see things that you can touch, but in a distributed team, you don't see those things. Well, you can see the background, but that's not enough. So we need to build trust because we're not going to have beers after work with our team members. So we need to do things that can establish that trust. And from the trust, then we can start building a solid team. So some of the things that I advise you to do regarding trust levels is, first of all, during the onboarding process, of course, present yourself. You're already doing that. How are you, where you were born, where do you live? And then in the future, maybe you talk about other things. I would like you to take that a step further and always, in all your onboarding projects, when a new person joins the team, to talk about their biggest success story. Whether it can be personal, the ideal would be that it's a professional, because the personal things, it's not so hard to start talking about them at the beginning. So the biggest professional success they have had, whether it was individually or it was in a team. And give time for that person to develop the story. Give them 5 minutes, give them 10 minutes. And have the rest of the team do the same. It will be repetitive for the rest because they've already heard each other's success story, or maybe it will change. But give the time. It's a time investment. We'll see. In distributed teams, it's about repetition and it's about investing time. So again, instead of investing time in flying the team, invest the time in the team meeting each other. So have them share their biggest success story, and probably the last project. That would help too, if they can talk about the last project. In this way, people are starting to get to know each other on a professional level, and you can start building that trust. Then during the project, you can do other things. You can try to get personal. And people tell me, well, I don't want to ask them if they have kids, if they're married. That's not my business, that's true. And a lot of people feel in a distributed environment that these questions are not welcome. Well, don't ask anything. Just provide information about yourself. Explain, this weekend I'm going hiking. If the person likes hiking, they will reply to you. Or maybe they will say, oh, I have a birthday this weekend. And then you will start establishing this relation. And you might say, well, why is that important for the project? Because when we work in a distributed environment, this elevator small talk is really important to make things more smooth, because we don't have the human connection. So we have to make up. And even if it's a little bit fake at the beginning, I encourage you to push yourself a little bit and make these personal connections, make an effort so they happen. What else? Humanize all the interactions that you have with the team. It's okay in Slack to just say a sentence, but it's always nice to start with a hello, how are you? And if you are, for example, recording videos, that's something that I advise a lot, is to record videos for your team members. A 2-minute video explaining something. Just always, hey, how are you? It's beautiful here in wherever you are, or it's crappy, just to make it a little more human, and then the project will flow better. Even if you're investing the time in the human relations, then you will see the project will flow better. And to create spaces for communication. If you're a project manager, or if you have the chance to give your opinion, always I advise you to create these spaces. For example, virtual water coolers, where once every, you can say every Thursday afternoon, we will be in this chat room, and we'll be open to talk about whatever. We can talk about non-project related things. We can talk about projects we would like to develop. Just an open space for people that have the interest and the time to go there and to meet. And this you can do virtually. It's this water cooler idea, that you meet people when you're going to get water. And then fun activities. Again, if we can have less meetings, then we can use these meetings to create fun activities that create synergies and trust between team members. In our webpage, Managing Virtual Teams, you have hundreds and they're free. You can sort them out by your objective. If your objective is an icebreaker or create synergy, improve communication, you can go there and find them. You have the methodology, the instructions, everything. One activity that I would like to share with you is one that promotes the sense of belonging between team members. And this is the result of the activity. It's really cool. So the idea is to create a mascot. We all know the mascot. So this is an example of a software development company called Collabora. They wanted to improve the sense of belonging in their team members. And what they did is to ask team members, every team member had to say one characteristic that the ideal team member had to have. So they said that the team member had to be fast, silent, had to be kick-ass, smooth, precise, energetic, and knowledgeable, of course, about the languages that they were using. Then they made a list of all the tools that they're using. They're using the keyboard, they're using the mouse, they're using code, and they came up with the idea that this was a ninja. It can be a ninja, or it can be a person in history, it can be an animal. So then you transfer these characteristics, the ideal team member, into a shape. And then you come up with this. You make somebody that can draw, make it, and you come up with this. And then you can use these for presentations. It brings the team together. Everybody identifies. They remember what they should do, what they should be. It reaches the bar a little bit, I want to be like a ninja. And it's just a fun thing to do inside the company. It doesn't come from above. It's not our new logo. Now we identify with this identity. No, it's something that comes from the team, and therefore it's more powerful. These are the instructions. You'll have them later in the presentation. So we have 7 minutes. Let me quick talk to you about another experience I recently had. So 2 months ago, I met with a group of people that used to work in my company, some that are still working, others that have left. What was very interesting is that spontaneously, the people that are no longer with us said that now they have jobs that are better paid, that are more interesting, that are where they can develop better their careers, but they're not motivated. So I asked them, how is that possible? You're getting more money, your job is more interesting, all of this remote, of course, and you're not motivated. What is it that you're missing? So they told me that they're missing feeling that they belong to a team, that now in their jobs they feel like machines. The team, the others tell them what to do, and they deliver, they talk about it, but there's no human connection. And I know a lot of us are introverts, so we are like, I don't care about people, I don't like people. But there is a social aspect in us, and humans are social animals. So there gets to a point where we do need the social interaction. So I asked them to name me the 5 top things that they liked when they work with us and that they missed. So these are the top 5 things. The first one is that they got to know other people. So we were all the time creating fun activities and team activities that would establish this human connection, whether it was work-related or personal relations. So with these meetings, we always had a part where we were talking in a personal level. So getting to know each other, people from other cultures. This curiosity that I think a lot of people have was being fed during these meetings. Then the sense of gratitude. We have this unspoken rule where at the end of every message, we not only say thank you, but we say thank you because, always. So when we say thanks because I know you went the extra mile, thanks because I know it's the first time you did this, thanks because I know you went out of your comfort zone, thanks because I know you worked overtime. So say why you are thanking the person. Even if it's negative feedback, thanks for listening to me, or thanks for wanting to improve, or thanks for trying. To know that the company cares about them. And the way we show that we care is through development, and it's through breaking the virtual world. So here I do want you to break the virtual world, or I advise you to do so. For example, when a person is going on a diet, we would send that person a basket of fruits. Or when a person is moving apartments, we would send a postcard. I know a lot of companies are against this kind of policy, and they are very willing to give all the money to the airlines and nothing to send a postcard to, or a mug to a team member. But if you can make a change, I would advise you to do that, to break the virtual world. And the same with your clients. If you send something physical to your clients, they just don't expect it because you're far and you're a remote company or a remote team. So breaking the virtuality is really helpful, and you can do whatever you want. So and of course, knowing that the company cares about me, it's not only sending presents to people, but being thoughtful when you communicate with them. Another thing they missed was clear guidance and development. If you listen to your team, if you know who they are, and if you ask them questions about where you want to go, it will be positive for the overall environment. When I say guidance, we have another exercise that we do, is that every time we have feedback, we write the feedback, or we prepare the feedback we're going to give, and then before sending it or delivering it, we go over it and erase all the negative sentences. This is like an assertivity exercise. So we erase all the negative sentences so they are all guiding and that they are all positive. And this is something at the beginning it's very time consuming, but then at the end it becomes very, it almost becomes like part of you. So when you say things, they become positive and you're guiding people, not just telling them what they did wrong. And then have fun, of course. And have fun, you name it. You can do whatever you want. For example, we do photo contests. These are the photo contest we did called Best Graffitis in Your Town. So we all send photos of us with the graffitis that are in our town or best moment of last year. And again, here you're sharing personal things and getting to know more your fellow team members. So we have little time. I'm going to skip all this. Yes, let's go here. So motivation drops when projects that are frustrating happen and when we have difficult clients. And according to my experience, the best way to change that and improve it is through purpose and the sense of belonging. So we have already talked a little bit about how to make the team feel like they belong in a place. Let's quickly talk about purpose. Do we all understand purpose? Yes? Okay, good. So when you hire people, this is super key. Don't only hire people that can work online, according to some articles on the internet, and not only people that can do the job, but also people that connect with the purpose and the values of your company. The way that I do this when I do interviews is I ask them about their favorite restaurant. The values of my company are attention to detail and excellence. If when they tell me about their favorite restaurant, they say, oh, it's the bar where I go with my friends and have beers. That's fine. That's a very social person. That might be good for another kind of company. I want somebody that talks about excellence and a detail-oriented person that can tell me, oh, I love what they wear. I love what's on the wall. I love the quality of the products. Because I know that then I am connecting with that person. And every company has different values. So that's a question that might help you. And always during the meetings, to reinforce this idea of purpose, share how you are helping clients, how you are helping other departments, how you are helping the end customer. And make all the time, repeat these stories so you can make the purpose a little bit stronger. Okay, I'm going to skip this. You'll have all of these. They're just activities that you can do with your team afterwards. So, let's go back. Why do we talk about purpose and all these things that are also applicable to teams that do meet face-to-face? And it's because when we are in a remote team, problems happen and they become bigger and they're harder to find solutions. So what I would say is that everything when you work remotely must be super. What we said at the beginning, more and better, more self-awareness, be more aware. When you talk, are you using the right tone of voice? Are your emails correct? How are you communicating? Are you being assertive enough? Do you have enough patience? So super patience. We need to repeat things. Probably you've experienced this. Oh, I've already talked about that. Why do I have to repeat it? It's in the manual. It's in the process. Well, because you're in a distributed team. So if you've decided that you're working in a distributed team, you need more patience. You need to be more clever with the tools that you use. And you need to show that you care more to people. And diversify the channels. Again, if you see that a client is not reading your emails, stop sending emails, send videos, try other ways. You know, don't be stubborn. There's many channels nowadays that we can use. So, okay, that means we're done. So try to diversify the channels, and more than anything, just have fun with your team. Tomorrow there's a workshop, so I hope to see you there.